Get me that signal. We need no hiding.
And I want a warm musical welcome for J. August Richards, 1, 2, 3, Chicago, and
Oh my God!
That's your theme song.
Oh my God! Where's my mic?
This is your.
Okay, so many people have challenged me to this ice bucket challenge.
Don't do it.
I might need to do it right now. No, but then I have to wear wet clothes for the rest of the day.
Don't do it, man.
I just haven't taken them up on it because I've been traveling. I haven't been like somewhere stationary long enough to like organize the bucket and the ice and the water and all of that stuff. So that's the only reason why I haven't done it yet.
Okay, I've been watching you since you were Gunn, and then I got really excited when you showed up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now, Gunn and Mike Peterson / Deathlok are two very, very different characters, but they're both very driven by family. So how do you portray that with these two very different characters?
Wow, we've got a contender already. It was only at a convention, and I don't remember which one it was, that I started to realize the similarities between Gunn and Mike Peterson / Deathlok in terms of it being all about family for both of them. So in my backstory for Gunn, even at the audition, I had decided that my parents were probably killed by vampires and I had to become the man of the family, and that, you know, my character, more than anything else, was looking for family. And, you know, he found it in a really unlikely place with this team of people who was led by a vampire, whom I think you might see this weekend. Yeah. So, but then, you know, when I started playing the role of Mike Peterson, you know, more obviously, you know, he was all about family as well, and everything he does is motivated by his son. But I see Mike Peterson and Deathlok as the same person with the same intention, just with different obstacles, right? So everything that I had to do as Deathlok, I was still doing to protect and keep my son alive and to take care of my son. So if I didn't do the things that the clairvoyant was making me do, they were going to kill my son. So even though everything that the clairvoyant was asking me to do go completely against who Mike Peterson is as a person, you know, when I really felt like I found the character, because when I was, you know, wearing all the Deathlok gear and stuff, you know, I felt really awkward in it, and I felt like I wasn't standing right, I felt like I wasn't running right, I felt like I wasn't turning right. At one point I even did a turn and the cameraman pulled me aside and said, that turn looked a little pirouette-ish. You know, I was really having a hard time finding it, and then once I found it, I realized that it was actually okay for me to be awkward in the stuff, because Mike Peterson would be awkward in the stuff. You got a new leg, a new rocket, you know, how many people get that? You know, you don't get to rehearse that. So I realized, oh, it's okay for me to be uncomfortable and to look uncomfortable because I'm getting used to it. But then the moment I realized that I found the character was I was sitting there waiting to go on, and I remember I started thinking to myself, I am Deathlok. I am Deathlok. And I realized that would be Mike Peterson's thought. He would be trying to convince himself that he was this person because he's not. And that's when it all clicked. And suddenly I knew how to do everything. That's when I slapped Brett in the face, you know? And everybody was like, where'd that come from? I was like, I know where it came from, but you don't know where it came from. I suddenly knew everything, you know? And it fell into place. Like I had to do this scene where I was putting the hard drive into my cuff, and it was just like 2 lines on the page, but so much, I understood so much about who the person was that it became a lot longer. I put the thing in, and I caught a look the reflection of my face in the thing, and I started to look like, oh my God, how far have I come? And then the clairvoyant said, you gotta do what you gotta do. And then I said to myself, I gotta do what I gotta do. And it just, it just started going and going. That was the longest answer. You know when I realized the power of Joss Whedon's writing? You know when I realized it was the night that the pilot aired? So, anytime that I'm on TV, or maybe other people, maybe other actors experience this too, but I had agreed to live tweet it, but also my friends and family are texting me during the episodes, right? So, watching the episode, the first 15 minutes, oh my God, you jumped out of that building, you saved that girl, oh my God, that was so cool. Then the second 15 minutes was kind of like, oh yeah, you better get away from Sky, oh no, Sky's trying to do bad things to you, whatever. Then I hit my boss with the, pipe or whatever, and then Twitter and my cell phone, friends and family, people on Twitter, you didn't tell me you were a bad guy. Oh my God, I thought you said you were a superhero. Oh my God, this is terrible. Oh my God. Then I knocked out Ming-Na Wen. Oh no, oh Jeff, no, this is terrible. Oh my God, this is terrible. Why they always got to have black man doing blah, blah, blah. Got a little bit of that. Then by the last speech, oh my God, you just wanted to do right by your son. Oh my God, that character's so special. So I recognize the power of Joss's writing, that he can really take you there and really make you believe in that moment that the story is one thing and then turn it on you on a dime. And that's just the genius of Joss Whedon. For me, I knew that this performance was going to be different for me, because after I got over the initial excitement of getting the part, something that had never happened to me before in my career and in my life as an actor happened. So I got the part, which was a big deal and a very long story about how I initially got the role. And I found out I got the part, I did my crazy happy dance, I went and met with Joss. I finally got the script and I read it, and for the first time ever, and this is honestly, I just thought, I just hope that my performance will inspire someone who feels like their back is against the wall and that they've lost hope. So for me, I forgot about myself in a lot of ways doing this job, because that first episode was a lot about my life in a lot of ways, because I hadn't worked as an actor for 18 months prior to getting the role, and I was going through a lot of stuff, and I found some things about life and about myself that were very valuable for me, and I wanted to impart that in my performance. And so there was no fear, no nerves. There were nerves. I know I was super nervous the very first day, because my very first scene, I had to do that scene with my son where the building blows up behind us, and the building was rigged to blow. So if either one of us blew our lines, it would have just been a disaster, because the building would have gone up and we would have screwed up and they wouldn't be able to use the footage. And I was shaking out of my boots nervous that day. But that was probably the last time I was nervous on that show, because I really felt like I really understood what I could share as an actor with other people. So I didn't think anything about the other stuff. And of course I didn't know that I was going to be Deathlok. So it didn't really faze me in that. When he directs, it feels like a high school community play in the best way, that it's just a creative experience where you get to be you and you get to bring what you bring. And his notes always really elevate your performance, In the last scene in Union Station in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., we did the first take and I did everything that I wanted to do, and I thought it was okay. I knew that I could go further. But he just said the most simple thing to me that made that scene what it is today. He's just so beautiful that way, in that it was just the smallest note. Another director would have spent 5 minutes trying to explain to me what they were trying to get me to do. And all he said to me was, and it really, touched my heart so much, he said, because obviously that scene, if you haven't seen it, it's at the end of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and the character basically thinks he's about to be killed, and he thinks that his whole thing is over. He thinks his whole world is finished. And, it's his lowest moment, and I've been there. And he said, I just think this guy would have a little more pride. And that just moved me so much. That in the moment where everything is over, that you still have pride. He says things like that to you, and you end up giving performances that you didn't think you were capable of. The stunts on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. have been definitely more difficult, and they're ones that they absolutely will not allow me to do, which is fine. But what was really hard was that scene in the very beginning of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. pilot where I had to come down with the girl in my arms. Obviously, I didn't jump from the top of the building, but that was done with a computer. But I had to stand up like this with the young lady in my arms like this, and I had to jump straight up in the air and land in the squatted position with her in my arms. And Josh wanted my knee 2 inches off of the ground, which it would have been much easier if I would have just gotten to land on my knee, but maybe he felt like it was stronger if the knee was slightly off the ground. And that was very difficult because we had to do it so many times. So that was really hard.
My question is, how far in advance did the cast and crew of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. know that it was going to tie in with Winter Soldier, and how did they feel about that?
The day it came out, we found out. No, I'm just kidding. But it felt like it might as well have been. There was a little bit of rumblings about that, and they keep secrets really well, over there. So it was known maybe a few weeks before the movie came out, maybe, and then everyone went to go see the movie, and but episodes were being shot that took place after the movie, so it was very much on a need-to-know basis. Pages were being slipped to you here and there. It's all extremely secretive. So sometimes when I say I can't answer that, it's because I don't know. And I love them for not letting me know, because I can't really keep secrets. I'm going to just talk to you guys like I talk to my friends, which is sometimes somebody asks something and a story comes to mind and I don't know if I'm answering the question or not. But I will say this. When I was a kid and we used to play Star Wars, I grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood. I always had to play Lando. And if they were feeling generous, I could be Chewbacca.
That's not fair.
I always wondered, why I couldn't be Luke, And I think my dream of becoming an actor was to kind of be Luke, to feel like the idea that people had of what the hero looked like, I would like to be a part of changing that. So in that regard, I feel proud that I'm able to play a character that, has powers and that maybe some kid could look at and say, oh, if he could do it, I could do it too. But one thing that I'm really comforted by and that I love is that people who don't look like me are also inspired by the work that I do. And I feel like that's the next level of the thing. I take inspiration from so many people around me we don't share a gender, we don't share a race, we don't share a religion. And I just hope that the world moves more in that direction, because we can all be inspired by each other. So I hope I answered your question.
You totally did. And I would like to see you as Luke Skywalker in a new Star Wars. That is the character I'd like to see you as.
Nice.
You would be amazing as Luke Skywalker. Now, you, as you know, are one of my favorite guests, and your audience is always like one of my favorite audiences. Tell us what you may be doing or working on next.
Okay, so I just did a series for Lifetime called The Lottery that is airing right now. I sort of died on that. Maybe not. We don't know. We gotta see it. A lot of secrets. And then I'm doing a show called Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce for Bravo Television right now, and that'll be out in December. And that character is going to be very different. All three of the characters that I am playing in 2014 are very different, and it's going to be a really great show. So if you have Bravo, have cable, check it out in December. It's called Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce.
Are you going to be playing any kind of romantic role there?
I do, to my husband on the show.
Oh, hey, that's fantastic. I love that. Oh, that's so great. Thank you so much, J. August Richards. Thank you, audience. You guys are amazing. We love you. We just think you're so great. Go and see him at his booth. Thank you. A standing ovation.
That's it.
This is for real.